Hi, this presentation is on activating the schema, aka how to make things stick. Pretty much, the schema is your brain's way of putting things in different categories. A lot of people like to compare it to filing. So when you want information, your brain knows exactly where to go. Now, why do we care about where our brain puts things? Studies have shown that if we prepare students for what they're going to listen to or what they're going to read, then they will remember the information that they read or the information that they hear better. Now, this means that if we help our students activate their schemata or open their schema, then we'll actually be helping them remember what comes next. Okay, most importantly, how do we do this? We can encourage our students to finish these sentences. This can be done informally, this can be done while we're reading, this can be done before we're reading. So if I wanted to talk about the glass ceiling in the business world, I would say, okay guys, the glass ceiling, what does that remind you of? And maybe students would give me, well, the glass ceiling reminds me of when you're like in an aquarium and they can't pass that level. Great, perfect. So they're already mentally visualizing what a glass ceiling would be. You can also try with I can relate to, I'm remembering, I have a connection to, and that's similar to. A lot of times we do this at the beginning of class when we review what we studied last class before going into the new subject matter. How can we do this? Well, we can use simulations. There are a lot of teachers that rather than simply telling their students the topic, will first have them do an icebreaker. And this icebreaker will later be shown to be relevant to the activity. This helps students because now they all have first-hand knowledge of the topic that you're going to cover, even if it is in a simulated venue.
Another way that a lot of teachers like to figure out what students know beforehand is the use of Kwl charts. Now, I know we've talked about Kwl charts before as a form of graphic organizer, but I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce them here because they're so great for activating prior knowledge, which is really all you're doing. You're activating the student's background knowledge. So in case you're unfamiliar with Kwl charts, in the K, we put what we know, the W, what we want to know, and the L, what we've learned. The best part about these is there's really no right or wrong answer. If I'm filling this out, I can say that I think that I know Roth IRAs are great for businesses. And then upon learning more about Roth IRAs, I will realize, oh, that's wrong. Roth IRAs are an individual retirement plan. I just changed my chart. I crossed it out, whatever. It's one of those times when showing that you've learned something is more important than being right the first time. And once students get this, they tend to enjoy these more. They like the fact they can't really be wrong. Another method is an anticipation guide. Now, this can be done orally, but sometimes I like to actually make one and pass it out. So if we were studying Spanish artists, I could pass out a paper that said, what do you know about El Greco? He was Greek, true or false. He was Spanish, true or false. He painted very religious paintings, etc., and so forth. And this is nice because it helps their brain anticipate what will be happening. Even if they have no idea who El Greco is, they're just going to make a guess. Well, his name is the Greek, so maybe he's Greek. Oh, but I don't know, it's in Spanish, so maybe he's Spanish. And then throughout the lesson, they figure out the correct answers. This does not need to be true and false. It can be multiple choice, it can be fill in the blank, it can be short answer, whatever you think best lends itself to the topic and your students. You can also use visuals. Okay, if I'm going to talk about the tulip economy in the Netherlands, I might want to start the class just by showing a picture of tulips. This will help activate their knowledge because they'll have seen these other places. Maybe the word tulip doesn't mean anything to them, but the picture does. Or maybe if I was going to talk about the Netherlands, I would show this and see if they could guess what country I was thinking about. Okay, this would show that even before we taught them anything, they already know something about the topic. And that's really important, especially at a university level, because our students are not blank slates, right? They're coming to us with a lot of knowledge. And that's it. I tried to keep this fast, but in review, helping students recall what they already know will help them learn new information. They can do this by you asking them questions, by running simulations, by filling out a Kwl chart, using anticipation activities, and using visuals. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Twitter, ESL Carissa. I have a Facebook page, Melted Activities, or you can email me, carissapeck@gmail.com. I did not go into the research here because not everybody needs to know the research. But if you are someone who wants to know the research, go ahead and email me and I'll send you some studies that show this really does work. I'm not making stuff up, I promise. Okay, that's it. Have a nice day, and I